Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Turning Heel Podcast. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by Mike. Mike, how are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Another great week. I'll say, I was thinking about this earlier. I really kind of am starting to feel like maybe there's a little bit of a lull. I felt this after WrestleMania, and I'm feeling it now again after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
There certainly seems to be everything, like a lot of things happened the way I feel like they should have.
Right.
Maybe a couple things that maybe didn't, but that's all right. But I don't really know how you make it less predictable or just I don't know, making it better right now. Because, man, it's so hard to come off that high from SummerSlam and not have a little bit of a letdown.
Right. And I think we're going to hit a real big letdown just based upon how this Bash in Berlin card is shaping up.
Right.
Okay, so we got Gunther against Randy Orton, and then you have Cody and Kevin Owens in a babyface championship match. And then they just announced online Dom and Liv against Rhea and Damian Priest.
Right. And I mean, to me, that match felt like a good Monday Night Raw match. And I mean, I would call it a great main event for a Monday Night Raw. Kind of a weak premium live event match, since you're going to have your women's world champion in a match that's not for the championship.
And you know what? After the opening of Monday Night Raw, I'm completely turned off by this whole feud.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. There's nothing.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
It's bad. It reminds me of DX against the Spirit Squad.
See, I was going to go more the Santino Marella and Beth Phoenix versus Mickie James and Kofi Kingston. That mixed tag team match, which I know you probably don't even... Well, you probably remember, but a lot of our fans don't remember. Right. The Women's World Champion and the Intercontinental Champion in a mixed tag match where winner takes all, which I love the concept.
Right.
But it kind of feels that way. But even in that matchup, there was I felt like Beth Phoenix and Mickie James was an even matchup, and Santino and Kofi was kind of lopsided.
Right.
This one, where's the even matchup? Again, Liv Morgan, fantastic. Love the character, love everything about her, the performer. But as far as believability and how they booked everything, it should be that Rhea Ripley mows through her. Right. And the way they booked Monday Night Raw and everything with Damian Priest now against Dominic, he should mow through, or he being Damian Priest, should mow through Dominic.
Exactly.
So, I don't understand, where's the matchup that's going to put the babyface in any peril?
I don't know. And that's the thing. The baby faces are so much more dominant, and it's 5 of them. It's 5-on-2, and the 5 are running from the 2.
Yeah, I don't get that. That's the part that doesn't make sense to me.
That's what's making this very reminiscent of the DX Spirit Squad to me. Now, I don't know.
I don't know some real top performers on the heel side.
I don't know if the end game is they're going to stick him in a trunk and put ship back to NXT on it.
Ship back to Orlando? Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's the end game here.
I mean, and look, Finn Balor's the first ever Universal Champion.
Right.
You know, JD McDonough is a freaking badass. Like, or at least he can be.
Right. But
Carlito was incredible. Like, how are we not using those three to at least make Damian Priest look like he gets in trouble at some point?
I don't know. I'm getting very scared of
Yeah.
this story. It's turning, and it's turning bad quick.
Right. And I don't like I always look for things, and one of the first questions I asked with any story is, okay, what's the point? Why should
Right.
I care about this? And like, okay, so Rhea Ripley got turned on by Dominic Mysterio. They were a love interest, and now he's with Liv Morgan. I He sounded like a kid looking for like wanting to move in with a different parent because the one parent was a disciplinarian and the other one was like when he said like Liv Morgan makes me chicken nuggets and lets me play video games when like are you kidding me?
It's just like,
Like even if we suspend the reality of okay, Dominic's married and you know like in what world am I supposed to believe that Dominic Mysterio's getting with Liv Morgan and his first thought was eat chicken nuggets and play video games?
I don't know. I
Like,
really don't know. I mean, it was chicken nuggets and video games.
that's our lead story. That was the opening segment on Raw. That's supposed to make me invest for the entire evening on Monday Night Raw. Like,
Yeah, it just kind of was like, ugh.
and the thing is, the segment wasn't doing bad when Rhea Ripley came out and was talking. Like I actually thought, like I liked a
That
lot of her.
was that was
And
enjoyable. It was soon
yeah,
as Dom and Liv came out,
it was cringeworthy.
it was cringeworthy. It just became horrible. Like, and then Damien comes up behind him and
That was
destroys
kind of
Dom.
fun.
Yeah, that part kind of got fun. Starts destroying Dom. Then the other three come out, and you think as soon as Rhea hits the ring, then it's like, oh my god, they start scouring again. It's just
Like, and if you're gonna have like men and women at some like, if they're gonna be in these intertwined storylines, like there's, and I don't know how you do it because I know you don't want to like, you know, play with the whole attacking men attacking women. Like, and I know that's a storyline they want to stay away from,
yeah.
and it's something during the Attitude Era, man, they were not shy about doing.
No,
But
especially geriatric women.
yeah, right. But I mean, how am I supposed to believe? So simply because the man won't touch the woman, I'm supposed to believe that JD McDonough, Finn Balor, and Carlito, you know, are now going to cower in fear of Rhea Ripley.
Right.
Like, okay, it's still what 5-on-2.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
It's
how am I
five
supposed to
on
be scared of
two.
this? Like,
Make it realistic.
right? Like, okay, look, if you're gonna only let the women beat up the women and the men beat up the men, okay, then have Liv Morgan get a couple women that are on her side, maybe a couple former people that Rhea Ripley beat during her title reign,
Right.
and let them come out and help Liv Morgan. And like an example I've had is Raquel Rodriguez. I think Raquel Rodriguez should come back in kind of the Big Daddy Cool type role
Right.
for Liv Morgan, much like she portrayed for Dakota Kai in NXT.
Right.
And I feel like that would make a ton of sense. And like if all of a sudden, say Rhea Ripley has Liv Morgan cornered, and Raquel Rodriguez comes out and nails Rhea Ripley, like that would make sense. Like then at least, we could have the baby faces in some kind of peril, but this is 2 straight weeks that like basically the baby faces are beating the crap out of the heels. And
Right.
look, I understand that at the end of the day that can sell tickets in that moment. But yeah, at some point you gotta have something for the fans to want to come back and say, "Hey, I want to see the baby faces get their revenge on the heels." Right now, like,
Right.
what am I going to do? Like, I'm going to tune in on Monday, knowing that, hey, I believe the heels are going to get their asses kicked again.
Right. Wrestling, I believe it was Adrian Street before he passed in an interview said that wrestling is always built around the bad guys getting their comeuppance at the end of the story.
Right. It can't be during the entire story that they're getting their comeuppance.
It can't be during the entire thing because then you just make these guys all look weak. And
yeah, you're killing their characters.
And what are you going to do with them now? That's why I was saying, are they just going to put the big trunk and have ship back to Orlando on it? Like,
I mean, at that point, at least I knew they were doing something with them,
right?
Because they'll go back. They'll go to NXT and they'll get over.
Right. I mean, that's where Balor always has been the strongest in his WWE career, is in NXT.
Yeah. And there's something about those smaller arenas. Finn can captivate those smaller arenas a lot better.
Yeah.
Although I think he's fantastic. In the ring, bell to bell, Finn Balor is one of the best in the world.
Right. But he's just stuck in a rut, I think.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to make him the new leader, but
without being a leader, because Judgment Day is without no leaders, no egos, which again, cool concept. Problem is, at some point, every group faces some kind of adversity, and there's going to be someone has to step up to the forefront and become that leader. And the fans kind of choose who that leader is. Like they chose Damian Priest as the leader.
Right.
And now I would like to think that the next logical choice would be Finn Balor as that leader. Now, what happens? Do we have another 6 months of Finn Balor kind of being the de facto leader? And then around WrestleMania or maybe even next SummerSlam, we have a turn where JD and Carlito and Dominic turn on Finn Balor? Like,
I don't know. I mean, that's all this faction's been based upon.
Yeah, it's you turn on the de facto leader.
Right. And the funny thing is, Finn had Damian and Rhea turn on Edge, and he was kind of like the de facto leader for a while.
It seemed that way, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he took a back seat, and
when Priest won the Money in the Bank, and
right, and I think also how over Rhea got. Naturally over she got with the crowd.
Rhea definitely became leader.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I feel like what they wanted to do was, okay, the fans, the audience chose Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest as their favorites from that group. We want to make this a heel group, so the only way to really keep them as a heel group is you have to remove those two from the group.
Right.
And that made sense. Like, that all logistically makes a ton of sense, and they had a great way to do that during the Gunther world title match. I almost feel like it would have been better to have Priest keep the world title in that turn, and then Finn Balor could be challenging Damian Priest for the world championship. I would at least I would have more investment in that match than I do right now, Gunther and Randy Orton.
Right. Yeah, because to me it just kind of feels like, hey, we're just throwing this match together. Randy pops up literally out of nowhere on Raw when he's been on SmackDown fighting the Bloodline forever and says, yeah, I'm getting a title shot.
Yeah, he just came out and said, I'm challenging for the world championship. And it's like, oh, so we can just do that? We can just show up wherever we want? Then why have a draft?
Well, if we're going to do that, then I'm just going to show up wherever I want and say, I now run this place.
Oh, I want to try that at work.
Well, wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be great. If you can beat up your boss, you get his job. That'd be great.
It would be.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to propose this idea at work tomorrow. I'm sure that'll go well.
I'm sure it's going to fly, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although, actually, I think there's a few other people who may just become store manager then if that happens.
Probably.
But anyway, so I guess since we have the week off next week, since I will be down in Virginia Beach, we should probably start looking at what is going to happen at All In, because this is our last show before All In.
Right.
And
we probably should have done this show tomorrow night, thinking about it.
Well, tomorrow's my birthday. I'll be out. And
yeah. Well, then you're going to be celebrating. So,
yeah.
Because, I don't even think the whole card's announced. Let's see here.
No. And what we can do is we can predict what they already know. You and I can text each other our predictions for the remainder of the card, and we can post that somewhere on here.
Well, they got 8 matches already, so
okay,
that's probably a pretty fair. All right, so let's do it.
Yeah.
Let me just bring up this sheet. All right. I guess we have to start with the main event.
Yeah.
And I think the main event will be Swerve against Danielson, title versus career.
Agreed. I want to believe that Danielson's going to win. He's got to keep his promises. That's his big thing.
Right.
But I mean, if you listen to some of his interviews, he's saying he's going to need neck surgery before the end of the year. That's not leaving a lot of time for a title reign.
Right.
That's good. I'm going to go with what I want. Bryan Danielson's going to win the world championship.
You know what? I'm going to go with you on that because I'm going to go with what I hope happens.
Right.
And see, they could play hot potato with the title.
Sure.
And have him lose it at All Out within 2 weeks. You never know.
Sure.
Could happen. Then we have Okada against Claudio Castagnoli for the Continental Championship.
The pure wrestling fan in me is absolutely ecstatic about this match.
Yes.
Because these are two of my favorite wrestlers of the last 10 years. So I guess I'll just go with Okada to retain. Okay. It just feels like the right thing to do.
That's what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah.
As we were sitting here, I was typing Okada in.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thought process. It would make the most sense.
It would be a nice signature win on his title reign. It's still a newish championship.
Right. Yeah, and I would say this might be their biggest show of the year now.
Yeah, I think it is their biggest show of the year.
The fact they do it in Wembley and yeah.
Right.
Then we have a 3-way trios match.
Okay.
For the AEW World Trios Championships between the Patriarchy defending against the Bang Bang Gang with Juice and the Gun Brothers against the House of Black.
Oh, jeez. If ever there was a championship, like this might be the championship in all of wrestling that I care the least about. Because they've done nothing to improve its stock. And this isn't a knock on the 6-man division, because I've been saying the WWE needs to have their own 6-man division. And I love the Ring of Honor 6-man titles.
Right.
So, jeez.
I'm going House of Black.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because that's part of my thought. Of course, I'm also thinking I would love to see Malachi and Buddy Murphy. Well, hey, I'd like to see all three of them leave to come to WWE, but they're not going to.
Right.
So, yeah, sure, I'll go House of Black. They
House
haven't.
of Black. All right.
Yeah,
Here.
it's been a minute since they've won the championship, so yeah.
Yeah. At least when they have it, it seems a little bit more compelling to me.
Right, and they have the house rules. I love the house rules. I love the concept there.
Next match is the Casino Gauntlet match.
Okay.
They only have 3 names announced, and they're wrestling in a triple threat tonight for the number 1 entrant, I believe. So it's Orange against Roddy versus Kyle O'Reilly, but like we don't know what's going to happen. So I say maybe when they announce more names, we could text each other.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can text each other and post it on here and let people know who we like for that. Based on those 3 names, I'd say Orange, but
yeah, I know. Based upon Tony Khan's love affair of Orange Cassidy.
well, yes.
Yeah.
And look, and it's so funny, like the roller coaster I've been on with Orange Cassidy, because at first I did not get the character, didn't like it, thought it was stupid, thought it was an R-Truth knockoff.
Right.
And I was just like, nope, don't like it. And then like he grew on me. I don't know if it was his entrance music or just like some of the like the little like link thumbs up thing. Like, and I do it all the time to people, and they'll be like, Eric, you gonna do this? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like but now I think I'm back on that roller coaster down. I'm not into it.
Right.
Like, there's only so much you can do with the laid back. Like, everybody's turning on him. Nobody likes him. And it's like, he's still not showing any emotion.
Right. And now he's in this whole new
the conglomeration
stable of just.
We have no idea what to do with these guys. So let's throw them all together into a stable and have them compete against certain groups.
But I love it, though. Yeah. The fact that it's.
Well, Briscoe makes the group.
It's Briscoe. He's
hilarious. Yeah.
Then you have O'Reilly thrown in there. Ishii, like really? This is
I dig Mark Briscoe in that, and I dig Kyle O'Reilly in that. Like I think those two are hilarious. In that, like, because Briscoe's just going nuts, and Kyle O'Reilly, he's selling the crap out of it, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
But Orange, he doesn't really fit in that group. He fit in the Best Friends, and I think maybe that's why I grew to like him.
Right. But this group's kind of just. Oh, and Willow's in it too. So.
Oh right, yeah. That's a shame because I really like Willow too.
Right. Speaking of Willow, the next match is for the title she used to have, the TBS title.
Yeah.
Between Mercedes Moné.
Oh, the CEO?
And the DMD, Britt Baker.
DMD all day, every day.
I think we're gonna get a title change as well.
Yeah, I think so too. She's being built as that, returning superstar, the savior coming back
for some odd reason. They won't say.
Yeah,
but I think this is where, because we have Camille with Mercedes,
right?
We're in bloody London, England. You know who could come back and to a huge pop to help her friend Britt? Jamie Hayter.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
I think that's what we're gonna get.
I would love to see Jamie Hayter come back and help out
Right.
Baker.
Yes. Now, this match, if I watch this event, will definitely be my bathroom break.
Okay.
Darby Allin, Jack Perry for the TNT title.
Yeah. I mean, again, they're building up Darby Allin as this like returning like man, they've really tried to make him sound like he matters.
The fact that they have him challenging for this title and let him win the Rampage Rumble, so he's going to challenge for the world title at Grand Slam.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah, that was dumb too.
Yes.
By the way, I love the Royal Rampage being right after Blood and Guts. I think it's fantastic. It's so dumb having Darby. We know he's going to be challenging at Arthur Ashe Stadium for the AEW World Championship at Grand Slam. And we know he's already challenging for the TNT Championship. I mean, like, I think I'm going to predict Darby to win the TNT Championship.
Okay.
But that's one of those I don't feel that confident in.
Right.
It's what, to me, the booker in me says, okay, my big story that I've been doing, I've been leading to this clash between Darby and Jack Perry. And so I've got to give the people their happy ending with that.
I think they're going to screw him over and Jack's going to win.
Okay. I mean, it would make sense, especially knowing that he's going to be challenging for the World Championship in a couple weeks anyway.
And see, this is where I'm trying to figure this out. And I'm just going to spitball some ideas because that's what we do here.
Sure. I like spitballing ideas.
Somehow, some way, we both said Danielson wins.
Sure.
That's what we predicted. But if Swerve wins, you can have Adam Page win the title from Swerve. You can even have Adam Page win the title from Danielson and All In.
Right.
And
or I guess All Out, right? Yeah.
And then, or All Out, yes.
Yeah.
And then you can have Darby challenge Adam Page at Grand Slam for the title.
And we're going hot potato, yeah.
And then we're playing hot potato. Which, with AEW in their constant mind frame,
kind of par for the course.
It's par for the course. Now, once we're done these predictions, I do have to go on and praise them for something, but we'll do the
yeah. I'll remind you, because I'm sure everybody will want to forget that we're going to have to praise AEW for something.
MJF versus Will Ospreay for the American Championship.
This screams Will Ospreay all day for me.
Same here. I think Stevie Wonder could see this happening.
Yeah.
And then we have the women's title match. Toni Storm against Mariah May.
See, and this also to me looks like it should be Mariah May.
Right.
And I think she's going to get the hometown reception. The fans are going to love her there. Of course, they're going to love Toni Storm too.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to go Mariah May. Another title change.
I'm going to go Toni Storm to retain it. Okay. I don't think she's done with the title, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. And look, and I think she could easily, in my scenario of her losing it, I think she could easily win it back within a few months.
Right. Yeah. And then they have a pre-show match announced, if you want to predict it.
Sure. Are we going to get color in the pre-show this year?
I don't know what the hell we're going to get in the pre-show this year.
Oh, boy.
Because did you watch Collision?
I mean, I had it on for a little bit. I kind of skipped around.
Okay. They announced this match on Collision. Willow Nightingale will be teaming up with Tomohiro Ishii in a mixed tag match against the team of Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway.
Oh yeah, I did see that. That's ridiculous.
So something tells me this is just going to be like a massacre match, but it's going to be phenomenal
Mm-hmm.
to see Ishii beat the shit out of Hathaway.
Oh my god, like Hathaway's gonna get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we're gonna get some kind of shenanigans of him trying to like weasel his way out of it
I hope we do. I
and say
really
something like he got injured. You know, like maybe they have like a backstage segment like the week before on Dynamite.
right.
And it's, oh man, I got injured, so now I can't compete. So here's my suitable replacement, and it be like, Lance Archer or something.
That would be great.
I think that would be phenomenal when we get Lance Archer versus Tomohiro Ishii in this match.
Yeah, and then you get Chris against Willow. They've got
Well,
feud.
yeah, actually, I'm kind of hoping that's what happens.
Right.
But barring that, yeah, this has got to be Willow and
Yeah, it can't
Tomohiro
be any
Ishii.
other way. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just typing in Willow in our predictions. And then I will get Sean's predictions. He's upstairs with Mommy and Nikki playing. So,
That's nice.
yes. Now, the one thing I have to praise AEW for
Yeah.
didn't even happen on Dynamite, happened on Collision.
Oh, okay.
I don't get how they somehow screw things up, yet they have these glimmers of brilliance. And this Thunder Rosa Deonna Purrazzo feud,
Oh yeah, that match was awesome.
I think they finally ended the feud with
Mm-hmm.
that phenomenal bull rope match.
Mm-hmm.
Again, pay-per-view quality match, easily.
Yeah.
One of the best women's matches of AEW all year, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so.
And just a phenomenal blood feud. And what a well done match. And
Yeah, I would agree with that. Hey, look, and if we just did matches on free TV as far as match of the year, and I think that would be a cool idea for us to come up with at the end of the year, a free TV match of the year candidate. Like I think that would make my short list.
I think it would. I think it definitely would. Well, that is a good question. Free TV matches of the year. Yeah, that would.
I mean, to me, that's the front runner right now.
Yeah, it might be.
But speaking of guys who've been doing some work on free TV, how about the efforts? And I'm going to skip back to WWE now for a minute. Wow, Bronson Reed has been putting in some work.
Boy, has he.
He destroyed Seth Rollins, the broken ribs, and I'm assuming he was already injured,
Yes.
and that's why we didn't have a match with him at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And
I was talking to one of my good friends at work.
yeah.
I think Seth came back too early from WrestleMania, these injuries.
Yes.
Because I don't think when you watch that Money in the Bank match,
Mm-hmm.
he was not Seth Rollins performing.
No.
He was a shell of Seth Rollins performing in that match.
And I almost felt like the Damian Priest when he did the little promo afterwards, the next night saying to Seth Rollins, after he handled his business with Gunther, he'd like to run it back with Seth again. I feel like that was him not knowing what the plan was. And not that he was going off script, because I'm sure that was scripted, but I'm sure in his mind some of that is, hey, I know I didn't get the best version of Seth Rollins. I'm hoping at some point here I can get the best version of Seth Rollins.
Correct.
And yeah, I definitely agree with you. Seth definitely came back too early.
Right.
And I was telling my wife, because she kept saying, like, hey, it looks like he's really bleeding internally. I said, well, he probably had one of the, like a blood capsule or something that he could chew on, and then it just looks like he's bleeding.
And then and then just and do the projectile.
Right, right. Because I was watching in the splashes, man, Bronson was being very careful not to hurt Seth. Yeah, he was doing really good with that.
No, he
And
was.
making it look like $1,000,000.
Yeah.
And him absolutely destroying the national treasure that is R-Truth on Monday. I absolutely loved it.
Of course. It was one of those moments like,
yeah, it's a dirty heel moment. I loved it. So. And boy, I still though loved in the I got you a match against Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. And he's like he's got a match with Sam. He's like, I don't know nothing about that. But
I love the way they do that with R-Truth.
For a second, I thought maybe he was going to say Braun Strowman, and we were going to get a heel version of Braun Strowman, and he was going to destroy the Miz.
Yeah.
And then when I saw it was Bronson Reed, I'm like, oh, dude, you a dead man.
Oh man, no, Bronson's putting some work in, and
yeah,
you can tell they're building up for him to be the next monster heel.
Yeah.
Now, how long he stays in the monster heel position is always
right before they turn him into a baby face, because for some reason people love monsters anymore.
Right. Now, speaking of big friendly monsters, what about this Kofi Odyssey Jones relationship? It seems like Woods is very on. Are they going to have the implosion of the New Day next week?
I think we are. I think we're getting that.
I think we are.
And it's kind of a shame. But man, 10 years is a hell of a long time for a team to stay together.
It is.
At some point, that this has already been mentioned. I'm sure during Kofi's World Championship reign, there was probably some hints of them trying to say, hey, we want to turn one of you guys against him, and they must have fought it tooth and nail, saying they didn't want to break up. But this has to be where they said, look, guys, it's been 10 years. Like, what else are we going to do with you? How many times do you really think we could just, hey, they're going to win the tag team championships?
Right.
It's time to break them up. It's time for, and I think it's going to be Xavier Woods turning on that. He's going to end up joining, I think,
Final Testament.
Yeah.
And that's another group that
what are they doing here? Yeah.
What are we doing here? At least NXT knows what to do with their groups.
Right. I mean, look, in my opinion, the best group, and this is going to get argued by some people, but the best group in NXT, I mean, maybe aside from the what you want to call it, the Undisputed Era, the greatest group in the history of NXT was Toxic Attraction. You took 3 superstars, 3 women who really weren't doing much, and you made them as over as can be, and I mean monster heels.
Right.
And I mean, look, and they're easy on the eyes, but man, they were badasses in the ring.
Right.
And there was just something cool about that group.
There was. And see, right now, I think we are with another group winning tag titles last night in Chase U.
Yes.
And it's like, finally, they're doing something productive with them again.
And I love Chase U. There's just something pure and fun about Chase U.
There is. There really is.
And yeah, I love what they're able to do there.
Yes.
One thing, if we could circle back to the Final Testament, I wanted to I think one of the areas that has been missed, and man, there are a lot of areas that have been missed, but Karrion Kross, in all of his rivalries that he's had, everything that he has said he would do to those guys, he's done.
Right.
Said he was gonna break Drew's character. Well, Drew's kind of gone nuts. Said he was gonna ruin the dreams of Rey Mysterio. Well, I mean, now him and Dominic, it's been 2 years of them fighting. And, then, and then the AJ Styles, and then he started feuding with, well, not really feuding, but disagreeing with the OC.
Right.
Everything he's said he was going to do, he's done.
He has done.
And I really wish he would come out and talk about that. And then, especially if he gets Xavier Woods to finally leave Kofi Kingston. It's like, okay, like everything this guy said he was going to do, he's done.
He's done.
And it's time to give this guy his flowers.
Right. It's about time they push him up the card more.
I agree. In fact, look, man, I think he should be getting a world championship match at some point. Now, again, that would be heel versus heel right now with Gunther, unless he had Randy win the world title, which you easily could. Right. I mean, I'd sign up for a Randy Orton versus Karrion Kross world championship match.
Yeah, me too.
Because right now, the only thing I think you could really do with him is just give him more personal feuds against some top stars.
Right.
Which, hey, look, I'm okay with that too.
Me too.
Like, I would love the idea when Seth Rollins comes back, because Seth Rollins is going to be back and he's going to go hunting for Bronson Reed. And you can bet he's going to get him. And they're going to be having a match. And hey, why not have Karrion Kross get involved in some way?
Exactly.
Either that or I want to see this Wyatt group. I want to see what's the deal, why they're targeting Chad Gable. And I want to see who else they're going to target. I would love to see them with Seth Rollins.
Yes.
Feud.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do next.
And that kind of brings me all back, and I wanted to end our show with circling back to my original point. There seems to be a lull right now.
Yes.
And the lull, I think, is just like we're in that point of transition where we've just had these big storylines wrap up at SummerSlam or take their new direction. Right. And now it's like we're still right now kind of building, we're planting those seeds of what's going to be the next stories that are going to carry us through the fall. And then, and we're going to see what ones then hold firm and go all the way to, say, WrestleMania.
Right.
But, for now, we're building towards, and before we get out of here, I want to talk about Roman Reigns, his return. And his return to SmackDown this past week, which was basically him just showing up and fighting the rest of the bloodline again.
Yeah.
And I like that, but at some point we're going to need to hear from him.
Yeah. And I think we're going to get that sooner than later. Maybe next week. Or in 2 days.
Yeah. Do you think we're working towards at Bash at Berlin getting Roman Reigns versus Solo?
No.
Or do you think that would be too soon and we're going to get that at, say, Bad Blood?
Could be Bad Blood.
Yeah, because right now it certainly seems like the card for Bash at Berlin is kind of already set. And adding Roman and Solo would kind of... I feel like it would just fall... it would be kind of wasted in that spot.
Right. Now, I did read a report.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it. It might be Roman Solo at WrestleMania.
No, that's got to be Roman Rock.
Because it might be Rock Cody at Mania.
Why can't we just do Rock Cody at Survivor Series? They're going to be part of the Hell in a Cell. Rock Cody at Royal Rumble. Make that a huge event again. And not just because of the Rumble match.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. There's a long way between now and WrestleMania.
Yes.
And I still think my main event, night 1 and night 2, whichever order you want to do it in, I don't care. Cody Rhodes, John Cena Roman Reigns versus The Rock.
Right.
I mean, those are your WrestleMania main events, and that should just be penciled in right now. August 14th, we should be saying, okay, when we get to Las Vegas Easter weekend, that's what we're going with for the WrestleMania main events. Which, by the way, I thought WWE always tried to avoid doing WrestleMania on Easter weekend. And now here we be, they're going to do it right on Easter.
Yeah, because I think Vegas wanted it on Easter to bring in the tourists because it's a slow weekend.
Sure. What do you think it's more likely? That it helps the tourism in Las Vegas or it hurts the WrestleMania numbers because it's Easter?
I don't think it's going to hurt the numbers much.
Well, I don't know that it'll hurt the views because,
Right.
I know I'll go do my family thing and be home in time to watch WrestleMania.
Exactly. It's going to be at night. We're going to have time to watch it.
But I think it's I suppose you're still going to get a lot of the people who travel every year for WrestleMania. They're going to go, but
Exactly.
some people who don't go every year and
Right.
want to choose a nice spot, they might say, yeah, it's Las Vegas, but man, it's Easter weekend. I might be out.
Right. But then you'll have a lot of non-Christians there.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to love that.
Yes.
All right, guys, I think that'll about do it for us tonight, unless you got anything else you want to get into.
No, my battery's dying on the laptop and everything's getting dark on the screen. I think it's a good call.
Yeah, mine is too. I think this is a good stopping point. The
Yes.
Cody Kevin Owens thing, I wore my Kevin Owens shirt just to talk about it very briefly. I don't know that I really like this storyline of basically he doesn't Kevin doesn't really want to compete for the world championship. I think that's kind of dumb. I get him saying he should just say, okay, let me qualify for the match. Put a bunch of us together and let's qualify for a match.
Exactly. That would have been better.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's it for us. Have a great week, everybody. And, well, I guess great 2 weeks. I'll see you here in 2 weeks, everybody. And happy wrestling.